Also, I'm feeling underdressed. I'm just gonna say it. You look fantastic. It's my way of saying you look fantastic. You've been killing it on the red carpet. You've been killing it. I looked on your Instagram, and I probably want every outfit that you've been wearing lately.
Thank you.
When did this whole fashion bug hit?
Well, okay, so I've always been into fashion, especially in gymnastics. I've designed all my own leotards since I was 12 years old, like all my competition leotards. And then
I think every girl that's not a gymnast wants to do either gymnastics or figure skating just for the outfits.
Oh, the figure skating outfits are better. Like I would have
the little skirt.
The skirt. They get a skirt. Yeah, and they're more bedazzled, and we have to keep it a little bit.
You get to do it with your makeup though.
Yeah. I never went like hardcore.
You never
with
did
my
that
makeup,
whole thing. No.
I was just like gold eyeshadow. Matching pink scrunchie.
Do you have any fashion icons, like or designers or labels that you're all about, or styles that you're into?
So I actually did the spring campaign for BCBG Max Azuri a few years ago. I was scared because I was like, I'm not a model. I don't know how to do like any of that. I was like, all I can do is gymnastics. And I did the shoot, but it was incredible. And so I think since then, obviously, I've been a huge fan of their work and their style, and it's elegant and classy. And but then it's like you can also wear it every day kind of look and dress it up. Yeah.
Has there been anybody, either in the fashion world or being here in LA, I know you've been here for the ESPYs and the Kids' Choice, who has come up to you and said, I'm a fan, that you've gone, oh?
Because being an athlete, I think I'm more, I get more starstruck over like
other athletes.
Yeah, because it's like you have this commonality, and you know how hard we work, and it's just, and I think that's also why a lot of athletes date athletes, because it's just like you know the drill. You know, it's like you're training 7 hours a day, 6 days a week, and it's
the
like
work ethic.
You don't have much free time, and you're traveling, competing, whatever. But
you don't get threatened.
Yes.
I thought it was because you were all just hot, but I guess there's a little bit of that.
But there's a little bit more to it than just that.
I'm being very Hollywood shallow right now, but I think we like seeing athletes say that. We're like, oh, they're a cute couple.
I know.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
It does make sense.
You do a lot of things around the country involving kids.
Yeah.
Sort of empowering kids, and because you are an adult now, and sort of why do you think it's so important to teach kids to have a healthy lifestyle and empowering them, and
Well, so for me, I've always, and not just because, see, I think a lot of people are like, oh, because you were a gymnast, like that's why it's like important for you, but it's not. You know, I grew up in that lifestyle of whatever it is that you're gonna do, you like need to be active, and whatever, you know, sport you decide to play, regardless of if you take it to the Olympic level or not, like find something that you love to do and find something that you have a passion for. And that's what I always try to tell, especially moms, and you know, they're always like, what advice do you have for like my girls? And I'm like, make sure that they love doing it, because I see so many times that it ends up being the parents want it more than the actual kid
that happens with kid actors in Hollywood. I see in auditions.
So I don't know that world as well, but as much. But
it's like, come on, honey, smile, do your thing. The kid's like,
remember your lines, but it's the same thing in gymnastics. You know, it's like a mom and like a 5-year-old will come up to me and she's like, my daughter's going to the Olympics in 2032, and I'm like, what?
Wait, does she know that yet?
Does she know that? Does she even know what a balance beam is? You know, and so I think, but having that healthy lifestyle and making sure you find something you're passionate about is important, but then also eating well. My mom taught me at like an early age too, was like you have to treat your body like an expensive car.
I know you've been a Subway Famous fan for a while. How has sort of Subway influenced sort of that healthy, you know,
well,
eating?
I think also like that's been really cool, and when you were talking about athletes too, to be able to work with some of the athletes.
The Subway Famous fans.
It's so much fun.
We've got to talk to a lot of them too.
Yeah, I was with Apollo last night at the Kids' Choice, and Michael Strahan. He was hosting it, and it's just really fun because again, we see each other like at shoots or, you know, at an event here or there, and so it's fun like being able to catch up with them and stuff. But I think also for me, because I travel so much, it's nice knowing that, you know, you can always like find like something.
They're everywhere.
They literally are everywhere. Even in Sochi, like in Russia.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, really?
I like took a picture and sent, I'm like, oh my God, you guys. And in Moscow, it's funny because my grandparents still live in Moscow, so they'll be like send like a picture of a Subway, and they're like, we miss you, and it's really cute.
What's actually the word for Subway? Not that obviously it's Subway there, but
it's the same, but they say it with like an accent.
How do they say it?
Subway.
Subway.
Yeah. like almost with a V, because there's no W, and like it's like just it's funny though. But then it's like spelt out in like Russian letters, so like, but you see like the color, and it's like you want to read it, it's like Subway, but it's not. It's like in Russian, and then you get thrown off, and it's funny.
They taste the same.
Yes, they do. It does. Yeah.
How do they do that? Wherever you go,
that
it always
I
tastes
don't
the
know.
Same. That
Like how?
astounds me.
Yeah, like the bread and like
I know.
yeah.
It's always that smell.
It is the smell. Yeah.
I love it. And last but not least, everybody has to check out Nastia's Instagram because you have 2 pictures that are probably 2 of my favorite pictures I've seen on Instagram. It was the Athletes Quarterly when you're doing, you're dancing in the white dress.
David Drebin, this photographer, is amazing. Literally, that has been my like favorite.
I think it's your profile picture, right?
Yes, yeah.
So for somebody who looks at you like either, like you said, a younger person that goes, okay, what she's accomplished, all the medals you have, the Olympic medals, is overwhelming. What sort of like little steps do you think people can take to sort of have a big impact in their life?
So for me, I've always had kind of like the mental aspect of, yeah, I do have 5 Olympic medals, but I also don't believe that that defines me as a person. I think, and you know, I would say the same thing goes for a lot of actors and musicians, and it's like they can win Grammys or an Oscar, and it's like that moment is amazing, and you'll forever be proud of that accomplishment, and it's like that's the moment where it's like all the hard work paid off, but it doesn't define you as a person.
Well, we're gonna keep watching to see everything that happens in your career, in your school. It's such an inspiration talking to you.
Thank you.
You're awesome. Fashion inspiration too. Thanks for coming in.